Hello guys, in this video we are going to learn about post request. In our previous video we learned about get request and we have made some get request to the server. Okay, so in this video we are going to learn about post request. Okay, so before that let me tell you something. There are four basic requests which we use during developing any website or web application. There are four basic requests, so here are some of them: get request, post request, put request, delete request. There are a bunch of other also, but we basically use these four requests for making our web application or website. These four are used like anything. So for get request we use something called we use to request some data from a specific server. Get request is basically used to request some data from a specific server. Let's say you want to request some data. In that case, get request is applicable. Post request is used when when you are sending some data on the server. Let's say you want to upload a photo or you are submitting some kind of form. Then in that case, post request is used. Put request is used when we are updating some data on in the database. Let's say there is some a record which you want to update, then in that case you use put request. In delete request, as the name suggests, it is used for deleting a record in the database. So in that case delete request is used. So that's it. These are four requests which we use a lot. So getting back to our application, so for post request we need a module to be installed in our application, which is body parser. So why do we use body parser? We use body parser to extract text or maybe data which whatever we are requesting to the server. We can extract those data which we are requesting using body parser. As we know that post is used for sending data to the server. So whenever we are sending some data on the server, there needs to be something who is going to extract that data, means who is going to fetch that data from the server, okay, from the request which we are sending by our browser, or maybe just a login form or something like that. Not browser, means I am about to say that login form means we're uploading a file. All those requests, uh, we extract all those requests from our post request also, okay, from our body parser. Okay, so first we need to install body parser. So deleting all those old piece of codes, and we have to install body parser. Control tilt, and like you can see here, I've already installed body parser. To save some time, you can simply use npm I body parser and it is going to install that for you. Okay, after installing body parser, let's have a quick look at their documentation. Body parser express. So we can see here body parser npm. It is a part of node package manager. Okay, so if you scroll a little bit, you can go ahead and read all of that, okay, to gain a more insight about this module. So first we have to copy just these two lines over there, and then I'm going to explain that to you. So just paste that right here and save that. So the first thing which you're going to use is app.use bodyparser.url encoded extended false. Means body parser is just a middleware which we are going to use right here, so that our app knows that okay, we are going to use body parser for passing any data which is coming from the request. So but remember one thing, let's say if you want to send something like photos or multi-part data, then in that case body parser is not applicable. Body parser is only applicable if you are sending data like JSON or something other, other type of data like text data. All those things can be extracted by body parser, but if you are using something like photos or other things, then body parser is not a good thing you want to use. And in that case we want to use maybe formidable or other things. So body parser is to be used when you're sending just like a plain text or maybe JSON format data. Then in that case, body parser can do its job. Okay. So and after that, we can simply mention here that what we are going to do. What we are going to extract. We are going to extract JSON data. So we have to put here JSON data. Okay. So quickly just create a route of post. So we can create your app dot post. Inside that, we can simply go to the register part and just use this one here, request comma response. As we know what these two things are going to do, request is going to store the data whatever is requesting for by our client. Let's say they are requesting some kind of, they are submitting some kind of application form or registration form, then all those data like their name, their password, all those things are encrypted inside this request. Okay, not encrypted, just stored inside the request.body. Okay, and we're going to extract that using just request.body, and we're able to do that because of body parser. Okay, and response is going to send the response back to the client. Okay, so just simply do that res dot json. Why json? Because we are going to pass json data. No, we are going to send json data. So we are going to use something like request dot body, means we are going to send back that request which is sent from the client. We are going to respond that back. Okay, but in general scenario, we process something like we stored that data on the database, in the database, or maybe processing is done like, but in that case, in this case, I'm going to make it simple. I'm going to just send that response back to the client. So save that, just delete this one. So app.post slash register request comma response, some arrow function, and all is done. So let's go back to our browser, hit a new tab. Oh, sorry, I forgot you to mention that we have to install Postman for making post request. Okay, so for installing Postman, just go to your browser and write here Postman, download, just hit enter. In the first link which you are going to see here is the link to download your Postman app. So why we use Postman? We use Postman to make other requests which can't be made just by using browser. Okay, let's say if you are developing some application, then you are not going to test that application just by after in a real user interface. That will become really difficult for you to test that application. So for testing that, so for testing all those post route, put route, delete route, all those things, we need some software like Postman. Okay, so just download this one. This is available for Windows 32 and 64-bit, and you can download this just like that. And I have downloaded it, so I'm not going to download it. So you go ahead and download that. After downloading Postman, let's switch it back to the post request. You can also make get request. Let me show you something like if you want to make a request to google.com, and if I send the request of get, you can also make it using just our browser, but I'm going to show you, I'm just showing you that how you can make it just by Postman. It is similar to browser, but it is for our developers browser, you can say that. Okay, so this is just like this. Okay, pretty this one. Now in our case, we are going to make a post request to whatever URL we have slash register. Okay, and our app is running at 1000, so we are just going to type here localhost clone 1000 slash register. Okay, and if I send it right now, we are going to get nothing. Could not send request. Why? Because whenever you send some request, it expects that you send some sort of data with it. Like if we want to send a request called post, and it expects that you are sending some kind of data with it, okay, but we are not passing any data, okay, means our request is empty. So in that case, it doesn't make any sense to use post request. In that case, we can simply use get. But for using paste, it is must that you pass some sort of data, okay. So for that, just go to your headers file, header section, and type your content type. So why we are using content type? Content type specifies that which kind of data you are going to supply to the server. Application slash JSON means we are going to supply JSON data to the server. We can also supply forms or other things like that, but let's talk about that in later videos. But for now, we are just using simplest thing as possible. So except we are also going to use this as application slash JSON. Okay. Now come to the body section, and in here go to the raw, and make sure your JSON is selected right here. Just open a curly braces right here and type here name colon Satyam sinha, just like that. And if I'm going to send that request right now, why it is not getting, why am I not getting my data? Oh, device.json. Okay. Body parser URL encoded. Means our body parser is not defined. It is expecting. Oh, okay. Sorry, I forgotten to import our body parser. Okay, so we are just going to use something like const body parser is equal to require body parser, and just save that. Now if you can see, our server is up and running. And now if I can go to that browser, our postman, and if I'm going to send this request again, then we are going to get our request back as a response, just like that. You can see we have sent this request called name Satyam Sinha, and we're getting back this one. Okay, isn't it awesome? So the next thing which we are going to do is, let's say we have an array of data, which we are getting from database. Of course we are going to use database in our later videos, but let's say in this case we are having some data of students of, and we have an array of objects. Let's say we have a role as one, name as John, hobby as singing. In the next one, let's say we have a role of 2, name of Rohan, hobby of, let's say, dancing. And again we have one more data. Let's say make couple more, just copying and pasting both of these things. This is 3, and this one is 4, John, Jan, oh, and he is having something like programming, and one more whose name is David. This is something like cooking. So we have a list of students having different hobbies and name. So we are just going to send all means we are just going to send a request of all send a list of all those data to our client. Okay, so we are just using get request, and let's say we are going to send all this data to the client. Let's say we have a get request and we have something like app dot get, and we are just using your slash students, and just we are using something called request comma request comma response, and in here we are going to send response dot json, and in here we are going to just use students. And so as soon as I hit a student route, it is going to get back all those data slash students, and just we are getting back all those data, but we are using your post, but we have to use your get request. So you can see here all the list of student is now visible to us. Let's say we are about to add something called, let's say we want to add a student in our list. Okay, so in that case we use post request. So now you're getting why we are using post and why we are using get. Let's say I want to store or register a student into this list. Okay, so for that we have to just use something like this, and we have to just use student dot push. What we have to push, we have to push that request dot body, and this is going to push that student, and then we are going to simply send that students to the to our front end. Okay, so we are just going to use send here students. So as soon as I save that, so this is one of the realistic example that I'm going to show you right now. Like we are not going to send back or that our request back as a response. Here we are going to do some stuff with our request. Okay, so let's say we are going to use here something like slash register, and after that we are going to set our headers, which is set which is all ready. So we are going to use here something like role, and role should be, let's say, 5. Of course we are going to do that using database, but for now this is okay for simplicity. And as hobby, again you all know my hobby is programming, so just using programming and gymming. These two are my hobby. Seriously, I can't live without any of them. So these two are my hobbies. And slash register, we don't forget to click here post, and if I save that, so now we have one more data, which is role 5 named Satyam. So isn't it awesome? So we can add data like this. So let's say in next video we are going to learn about put and delete requests also. We will have a lot of fun. So see you till then. Thanks for watching this video. Thanks for our support. Thanks.